So our first presentation of the afternoon is quite fitting. We're going to talk about factors that promote med student interest in radiation oncology by Maryam Dosani at BC Cancer Victoria.
My name is Maryam Dosani. I'm a radiation oncologist at BC Cancer Victoria. And I apologize, you can probably hear my baby in the background. So this is my attempt at changing the profession and normalizing women. So we looked at factors that promote medical student interest in radiation oncology. This was a survey of Canadian radiation oncology residents. And I just wanted to thank the Canadian Association of Radiation Oncology for supporting this project. Similar to what I've been hearing a lot about in the United States and Canada, we've had a lot of fluctuation in medical student interest in the specialty. And in this graph, you can see the purple bars are the number of available positions in the Canadian radiation oncology programs, and the blue is the number of filled positions. And you can see in 2017, we had a significant number of unmatched positions, and actually only 9 students ranked radiation oncology as their first choice of discipline, with only 13 positions filled in the first iteration. There's been a lot of hypotheses of why we're seeing this in Canada. It could have been a lack of jobs, and there certainly was a time where it was very difficult to secure employment, or lack of exposure to the specialty is something we've heard a lot about today. And so this was really our impetus to try to think about how, as a profession, we could address some of these issues, but we thought it was really important to step back and take an educational lens to truly make sure we're identifying the correct enablers and barriers before we put our time and energy and financial resources into addressing them. So we designed a survey designed to probe this. It was based on a literature review of similar studies in other disciplines. We didn't find too much in radiation oncology specifically. And then we used an existing conceptual framework that was developed within the primary care literature as the backbone upon which to build our survey. We circulated it to a core group of oncologists interested in medical education in Canada and the United States for feedback and revision by consensus. So this is the conceptual framework we started with, which looks at the microsystem. So a lot of it is sort of personal values or personal environments, and then the interaction of that in the mesosystem, and then within the broader healthcare system, and how those things change over time. We distributed to residents, sorry, that shouldn't be yellow, in all 5 years of training in Canada between May and December 2019, and we distributed it through an email invitation by program directors, chief residents, as well as the Canadian Association of Radiation Oncology listserv. Every participant or potential participant was offered a Starbucks gift card, which they could have whether or not they decided to actually complete the survey. There was actually 68 residents who responded, so just over 50%, the majority of whom were female and in their late 20s. And we found that most students first learned about radiation oncology during their clerkship rotation, so the second half of their medical education, or from faculty mentors. But preclinical coursework, so those first 2 years, were also important, as interestingly was having a personal or family experience with cancer care. And I thought it was surprisingly high, 9% actually had a friend or family member working in radiation oncology. Most students decided to pursue radiation oncology in clerkship or later, so later within their medical education. And when deciding to pursue radiation oncology, residents reported that positive feedback from faculty, mentorship, positive feedback from residents, and having clinical rotation or clinical exposure to the discipline was really important. They also reported that it was important that their perception of the specialty aligned well with their personal values. So it was important that they saw and experienced a commitment to patient care, and that they felt an overall perceived personal fulfillment with the specialty. And when we asked specifically about lifestyle factors, so from what you know about the life in the specialty, what's important, work schedule and hours were particularly important, as we're having a hospital-based practice, and the financial compensation. interestingly to me, the jobs in our survey didn't come out to be one of the more important factors, nor was prestige. We did have some free text and areas for narrative results, and again, the role of mentors came out as particularly important identification with sense of self and some career-specific features. So some people said they really liked the balance of technology with patient care or the unique patient care. It did come out in this section a little bit that the perceived lack of jobs or opportunities might be a slight deterrent. We tried to tie this back to the conceptual framework we started with in the beginning, and we certainly found a lot of alignment of our results with this primary care framework, but there was this idea of personal experience that wasn't quite captured, that, you know, a lot of people were drawn to the specialty after having an experience of cancer or a strong patient interaction. And so we think moving forward, there's room to build upon the conceptual framework. We would love to distribute the survey in the United States and see if we get a similar set of results. And we've been talking to some great collaborators about the potential for that. And then, of course, it will be really important to put this into developing interventions to address the findings. I just wanted to quickly thank our collaborators, many of whom are here today and who were very instrumental in developing the survey and thinking about the results, and I'm very grateful.